Welcome to the Growth Gyms podcast, where we believe that growth is a journey, not a destination. This podcast is designed to empower you with the necessary tools to unlock your full potential and develop yourself, both personally and professionally. We provide insightful conversations and share inspiring stories that will help you grow emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and socially. Our goal is to create a community of like-minded individuals who are on a journey of self-improvement and help you live a more fulfilling life. We aim to equip you with resources, strategies, and growth gems that you can apply in your daily life to achieve your goals and reach your full potential. So, get ready to embark on a journey of transformation and join us in discovering the power of growth.
Hey, family and friends, thank you for joining me on another episode of the Growth Gym Podcast. I am your host, Chris Briggs, where growth is a journey and not a destination. Hey, today we have another great episode and conversation for you today. And I believe it's going to be impactful. I think it's going to help you. So, I need you to do what I ask you to do every episode. Share this with somebody, subscribe. Also, get your pen and paper out, get your notes out as we continue to give you those growth gems that's going to help you grow into the person that you are trying to reach, and so you can reach your full potential. All right. Today, man, we're going to talk about something that is very heavy, and we dealt with it in the last episode. But I want to deal more with the WAIT, the wait and the waiting, because I believe many of us are waiting until we feel ready, waiting until you have more confidence, or even waiting until we always say the timing is perfect, but waiting until someone tells you that you're good enough to do it. But here's the question today: what keeps you from taking the next step? I believe that's a very important question that we must ask ourselves. What is it that's keeping me from taking the next step? Because here's what I've learned. Sometimes the biggest thing standing between us and the life we want isn't the lack of opportunity. It's waiting for permission, which was never ours to seek. Many of us are waiting for permission to do what we have been called to do. And you don't need nobody permission, nobody approval. What are you waiting on? Stop waiting for permission. You don't need permission to be great. You don't need permission to execute and to fulfill your full potential. Because most people aren't waiting because they're lazy. They're waiting because something inside of them says, what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? What if I failed? What if I don't succeed at it? What if? And I think that what keeps us from reaching our full potential, because and really waiting on that permission, because we are really seeking the idea and have those thoughts and that voice in our head that with the what ifs. You think about it, the what ifs. What if I can't talk about nobody else. What if I would have allowed the what ifs to stop me from pursuing my podcast? Now, honestly, it's not where I want it to be, but I'm doing it. And every time I hit record, every time I come before my computer and begin to construct show notes and put episodes together, I'm breaking the boundaries of for permission. I don't have to get nobody permission to do what I've been called to do. So I want to talk about those voices and talk about that voice in our head that tells us what if it doesn't work. I really want to share some ideas and some thoughts about that I think is going to be impactful and is going to help you. All right. I hope you got your pen and paper out. You have your notes out, because I believe this is going to help somebody push you to the next place you're wanting to be. All right, here goes. You got to first of all understand the fear of failure. Fear has a interesting way of disguising itself. Sometimes it sounds like wisdom, it sounds like preparation, it sounds like responsibility. I started, and we begin to say these things like, I started next year. I need a little more experience. I need a little more certification, or simply I need some more money. We use not having the proper resources instead of using what we have. Those may be legitimate reasons, but sometimes they are simply fear wearing a more acceptable outfit. Here's the truth. Failure isn't the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. Did you hear that? Failure isn't the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. Every successful entrepreneur has failed. Every great athlete has lost. Every accomplished leader has made mistakes. The difference is they didn't stop. The difference is they stopped viewing failure as a verdict and started viewing it as feedback. Instead of saying, what if I fail? Ask what if failure teaches me something success never could? That's you're dealing with the fact of fear and the fear of failure. And honestly, I've wrestled with that for years. I had the fear of failing, but then also I had the fear of success because I saw a young man was doing great, had just bought a nice house, um, children, wife is doing good. I mean, living a wonderful life. And he dies by having an asthma attack. And I was afraid of succeeding because I felt like I was going to get to that place of success and I wasn't going to live to enjoy it. So I began to walk in fear and the fear of failure and the fear of even succeeding. But growth begins the moment fear stops making your decisions. How many times we make decisions out of fear? You're making those decisions of why you cannot do. You're making those decisions of why I can't do this. I can't do that. You give yourself excuses, but this is what I discovered. Excuses only satisfy the people that make them. You'll never execute. You'll never experience. You'll never be what you have called to be if you keep giving yourself excuses. I don't have the education. I don't have the money. I don't have the certification. I mean, I just don't have the time. But we make time for everything else we want to do. So I think it's very important. Um, it's very important that that voice of failure in your head. What if I fail? But failure would teach you something that success can't. But then also, I believe this truth is very potent. It's the fact of that failure is the key that unlocks the door to success. Let me say that again. I believe that failure is the key that unlocks the door to success. And I believe that's very important. All right. Here go the second growth gem principle I want to give you. The power of progress. One of the biggest mistakes I must say that people make is believing that success requires giant leaps. It doesn't. Success is usually built through small, constant steps. Imagine standing at the bottom of a staircase and you look and you see 20 steps and you begin to feel overwhelmed. But nobody climbs all 20 steps at once. You climb one step at a time. Then you climb another. Then you climb another. And progress works the same way. All it takes is one phone call, one application, one workout, one chapter, one conversation, even one decision. Small actions may not feel impressive in the moment, but over time they become extraordinary. You have to understand that momentum is created by movement, not by motivation. That is great. Ooh, that just helped me. Momentum is created by movement, not by motivation. And I believe we want the motivation to keep us producing momentum. But momentum is created by my movement. Don't never underestimate the power of taking one meaningful step today. What is it that you need? What step do you need to take today? What is it that you need to do today? What step do you need to take? What application, what phone call, what decision you need to make today that's going to push you into the place you need to go? You got to learn how to celebrate small victories, small wins. Learn how to celebrate those small. It may not be much to others, but hey, I got up and I did this today. I achieved this today. I conquered this. I conquered my fear of rejection. And I didn't wait for the permission of others to fulfill what I had and what is ahead of me. And I think so much we lean on permission because we want people's approval. And I think that what keeps us from not understanding progress. And also I would say this, that a lot of times our discouragement is due to the fact of we always compare our progress to someone else's progress. And whenever you do that, comparison always lead to inactivity. That's a principle I stand on. Anytime you compare yourself to anyone, you will always find yourself doing nothing because you're looking at how they're doing this and look at what they're doing. Look at the effort, the work, and all that they're doing. Look, you begin to find yourself saying, hey, I want to be there. I want to do this. I want to be this person. I want to become this individual. And so you start forsaking your progress and start looking at others' progress. But you must stay focused on what you have going and understand the power of your progress. You may not be where you want to be, but if you take the first step today, you won't be where you was yesterday. All right? Here goes, I got one more. Here goes, the reward of risk. Every meaningful opportunity comes with uncertainty. Every promotion, every business, every relationship, every dream, every risk isn't something to avoid. It's something to evaluate. There are two kinds of pain, the pain of trying and the pain of wondering. Did you get that? There are two types of pain, the pain of trying and the pain of wondering. Many of us are dealing with the pain of wondering, what if I had? Years from now, you probably won't regret every attempt which didn't work out, but you'll regret the opportunity you never pursued because fear convinced you to stay where you were. You playing it safe. But you got to understand, I got to learn how to get out of my comfort zone and take that risk. But you also protecting your growth. And sometimes the greatest risk isn't trying. It's never trying at all. And many of us have to understand that we have to make sure that we are at a place where we are not sitting in our comfort zone, but we are pursuing and we are going after that. I'd rather deal with the pain of trying than deal with the pain of wondering. I wonder if I had taken that road. And there are moments when I sit down, and can I just be honest? There are moments when I sit down when because I've had some opportunities presented to me, and I go back now and I was like, what if I had taken that opportunity? Where would I be right now? What if I didn't make that decision and I went this route? Where would my life be right now? What if I had done this? I mean, we all deal with the what ifs. What if I had not met, this person? What if I had not got tied up in that relationship? Where would I be? I mean, we all deal with the what ifs, but I want you to deal with the pain of trying. That nothing comes easy. It comes with some uneasiness. It comes with some burdens, come with some pain, some trials, but it's going to be worth it in the end. And you'll sit back and over your life and you'll be like, man, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I made that decision. I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I went that path. I'm glad I made that, I made the right thing. I did the right thing. Here's your growth gem for this episode. The life you've been waiting for begins the moment you stop waiting for permission. I want that to sink in. The life you've been waiting for begins the moment you stop waiting for permission. Then you got to ask yourself, where you've been waiting for someone else to validate what only you can choose to pursue. You've been waiting on somebody else to validate you. You got it, girl. Oh man, you got it. We live in, and there's nothing wrong with affirmation, validation. But sometimes you can't wait on people to validate or give you that affirmation you need, because you know what's inside of you. And you got to go for it. You got to push it. You got to like, man, hey, I got to do this. I'm not doing this for nobody else. I'm doing it for myself. You're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it to please nobody else. You're doing it for yourself. All right? This is your challenge for the week. I want you to make a one-step list. Write down one goal you've delayed. And then I want you to answer these 3 questions. What's one action I can take in the next 24 hours? Then what's the smallest next step which moves me forward? And then what's one fear which has been holding me back? Then I want you to commit to taking the first step before the weekend. And don't focus on finishing it. But focus on starting it. And I think we get so much concern of the end that we lose focus of the start. Because action creates clarity. Don't focus so much on the end result. Focus on the beginning, on starting. All right? Thank you for spending these moments with me on this Growth Gym podcast. And if this episode has encouraged you, share it with someone who has been sitting on a dream, delaying a decision, or even waiting for the perfect moment. And if this conversation challenged your thinking, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next on our next episodes. Hey, this has been your host, Chris Briggs. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Growth Gym podcast, where growth is a journey and not a destination. Thank you.
Welcome to the Growth Gyms podcast. I'm so grateful to have you here with us today. I truly hope that you've enjoyed and learned something valuable from today's episode. Our goal is to provide you with the insights and inspiration you need to supercharge your growth journey, whether it's in your personal or professional life. As you know, growth is a never-ending adventure. It's a journey filled with ups and downs, triumphs and challenges. But it's those very challenges that help us grow and become better versions of ourselves. So no matter where you are in your growth journey, keep pushing forward, keep learning, and keep growing. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on future episodes. We have some amazing topics lined up that I know you won't want to miss. Also, follow us on social media. Facebook, Chris Briggs. Twitter at CABriggsSR. Instagram at CABriggsSR. Thank you for tuning in today, and I can't wait to see you again on our next episode of the Growth Gems Podcast.